Zach takes his kids to pick blackberries, reflecting on how his childhood will be different from theirs growing up on the farm. I spent a lot of time outdoors, and I definitely want that same experience for our kids, Zach shares. The farm was part of my life, and it's not gonna be part of our kids' lives the same way it was mine. No one's holding grudges, no one's intentionally not going to the farm. There's just no interest. The kids don't ask. As for his relationship with his dad, Zach says that ship's all sailed. There's not much of a relationship. It's just doing our own thing. Time might even it out, but everything will be healed. It'll just be different. Little people, big world. How Matt and Caryn's Roloff farm's decisions tore the family. Little people, big world. Matt and Zach Roloff's feud intensifies after extremely disappointing update. Matt Roloff is best known for his patriarchal role in Little People, Big World, but his recent engagement to Caryn Roloff and their decisions regarding the farm have torn the family apart. As the head of the family, Matt owned Roloff Farms in Oregon and hoped to pass the property down to one of his children, specifically Zach. A battle between Matt and Zach has ensued on one of the best reality TV shows. Zach and Tori Roloff aren't returning to Little People, Big World Season 26, and their problems with Matt go way past filming for the show. Matt engaged with fans on social media, sparking revelations about the management of the Roloff farm. Amid ongoing family tension over the farm's future, Matt disclosed that Jacob Roloff is now overseeing Roloff Farms, surpassing the involvement of his other children. This revelation prompted some backlash from fans, who criticized Matt for seemingly diminishing his other children's contributions. The backlash is likely warranted, given how Matt and Caryn's actions ruined Roloff Farms and tore the whole family apart on Little People, Big World Season 25 and beyond is reported by In Touch Weekly, based on quotes from a 2022 episode of Little People, Big World. Matt claims he never necessarily intended for the farm to be passed down the familial line. However, that is now seen to be playing out in real time in Season 25. I never said anybody would inherit it, the patriarch said ahead of Season 24 as he prepared to put the farm on the market. Despite telling his family ahead of time, chaos ensued. Matt's declaration set off negotiations with Zach and Jeremy Roloff, which ended badly. Earlier in 2022, Matt decided to list a portion of the Oregon farm for sale, a decision met with criticism from Zach, who accused his father of jeopardizing the family's legacy. Despite Matt's claims that his sons were offered a discounted rate, Zach was offended by the offer, asserting that he and Jeremy had moved on to other investments. The family drama surrounding the farm sale has only intensified, with Matt's engagement to Caryn fanning the flame. Zach's trust issues stem directly from their disagreement over the sale of Roloff Farms. Matt's son had been deeply involved in the farm's operations throughout his youth. When Matt decided to sell his portion of the property following his split from his ex-wife Amy, Zach expressed interest in acquiring the north end, which was sentimental to him. However, Matt's insistence on selling it at a high price led to a deadlock, prompting Zach and his wife, Tori, to move away. To Zach, it seemed unfair and offensive not to inherit the farm, or at least not be swindled by his dad. Despite Zach's initial statement that things were fine between family members, Zach no longer trusted his father. Matt's subsequent decision to rent the main house as a short-term rental further exacerbated Zach's disappointment and betrayal. For Zach, the farm represented cherished memories and a potential legacy. However, its transformation into a commercial venture underscored the breakdown in trust between him and his father, leaving Zach feeling disregarded and disheartened. However, it wasn't just Zach who felt blindsided by Matt. Amy was shocked when the drama with the farm began to go down, as she also pictured it as part of the family legacy. She was deeply saddened when she discovered Matt intended to sell the other half and that it wouldn't be passed down to their children. This only led her to further mistrust Matt, with whom she'd been clashing since before the divorce. Caryn has gotten some unfair flack from fans and cast members alike, but it's evident that Caryn is influencing Matt. They've been a bit selfish in their relationship. While Matt deserves to find happiness at any age, trying to get rid of the farm so he can move on with his new future wife seems hurried and unfair. Caryn admitted she wanted nothing to do with dealing with the farm. "We've made it pretty clear," added Zach on this same podcast. "They haven't asked us back technically." To their credit, both Zach and Tori were very candid about the basis for their departure, with the former stating simply a few weeks ago this last cycle was rough between the family, the farm deal, and we were done with it. "We've moved on." Zach was referring here to a feud with his dad, Matt Roloff, that dates back nearly 2 years now. The rivalry started back in May 2022 when Matt listed 14 acres of his Oregon farm for sale, angering Zach because the father of 3 felt as if his own dad didn't give him a fair chance to purchase this property. Zach proceeded to trash him as a coward and a manipulator after Matt pushed back against this summary of events. The relationship hasn't been close to the same since. On this series finale, Zach went ahead and doubled down on his hesitancy to forge a further relationship with his father. "When it comes to my dad, yeah, I don't know, dude, that ship's all sailed. There's not much of a relationship. It's just doing our own thing. Time maybe even it out, but everything will be healed. It'll be different." He said overall, however, he seemed more focused on his immediate family, wife Tori, and specifically his 3 young kids, all of whom were born with his same type of dwarfism. "Our family's going to stand out, our whole life. Tori being my wife and I'm her husband, me being short, her being tall, and our kids being short," Zach explained in a confessional. "Our family's going to always probably stand out, but it's something you just kind of get used to. Sometimes it's annoying. We get sensitive sometimes. We make sure our kids are well behaved because we do feel like we're being watched." Tori confessed that it can all be hard. At times it's all been worth it for the husband and wife, of course. "Growing up on the farm, I spent a lot of time outdoors, and I definitely want that same experience for our kids," Zach lamented on air. "The family farm was part of my life, and it's not gonna be part of our kids' lives the same way it was mine. No one's holding grudges, no one's intentionally not going to the farm, there's just no interest. The kids don't ask." To mark the pair's final scene on the series that made them famous and fairly rich, Tori Matt Roloff lays into Zach on Little People. "Big world. What a disappointment as Little People." Big World fans likely know at this point, Matt Roloff has been on bad terms with his son Zach for a long time. Now it all started back in May 2022 when Matt listed 14 acres of his Oregon farm for sale, angering Zach because the father of 3 felt as if his own dad didn't give him a fair chance to purchase this property, and when Matt pushed back against this claim since that time, there has been both distance and tension between Zach and Matt. Which brings us to the next week's episode of the aforementioned TLC reality program. Courtesy of Entertainment Tonight, we've watched a sneak peek that centers on a fundraiser hosted by Amy Roloff for the Dwarf Athletic Association of America upon learning that Zach and Tori don't plan on attending. Matt questions why and lays into the couple pretty hard for snubbing the effort Amy has put in. "Whatever it is, I just think they should have been here to support you, to support their organization," he tells Amy, adding, "It's funny to see little Jackson and Leela kicking the soccer ball around, and then to go to the convention last year and then not have them support you and this fundraiser. It's disappointing to me to see them not support your thing." In a subsequent confessional, Matt elaborates on his thoughts about his oldest son and his immediate family not attending the event. "I'm disappointed," Matt says to the camera. "I thought that Zach would maybe come down with Jackson, so it's disappointing. I don't get upset about that kind of stuff. I think Zach and Tori are going to be away. I think everybody gets to set their own priorities in life. I'm sadder for Amy than I am for me. I'm kinda used to keeping the space and the distance. I think Amy, this was something she conceived. I think it's for the benefit of Zach and Jackson and Lila and Joseph. So for them to have a different priority, that's their choice. You can't cry over that. So everybody has to make their own choices with their own priorities. Little People, Big World airs Tuesdays on TLC. The show, if it continues, will look very different going forward, however. In February, Zach and Tori confirmed they are quitting the show. However, the Roloff patriarch said that won't happen. Not only is Zach happy where he's living in Battleground, Washington, after leaving Oregon, but it would be unfair to the rest of his kids. Matt didn't stop there, though. Cindy La 1111 called him out for hurting his kids by causing division over the farm. They wanted Matt to admit your wrongdoing so that the family could start healing. Matt accused the Instagram user of not being very tuned in and wanted them to consider Molly and Jacob's feelings in this situation. When Annette_covered claimed that 2 of Matt's kids offered to purchase the house at fair market value and he rejected the offer, the Little People, Big World star said that is simply not true and wanted to know where they heard that lie. The Little People, Big World star's Roloff farm drama is never ending. Matt has already made it clear on his reality show that Amy will be inheriting the property after he dies. This was done so Matt and Amy's kids wouldn't fight over who gets the farm. Based on the feedback Matt's been getting on Instagram, it appears he keeps being pressured to let one of his kids take it over. It's nice that Matt has given some clarification on who's currently running the farm and who will inherit it, but the tension will continue to linger for years to come. Little People, Big World. Is it coming back or is 25 the last season? After watching the season 25 finale, fans are wondering if Little People, Big World will be back for more seasons. Was season 25 the last one? Here's everything you need to know following the exit of Zach and Tori Roloff. Many wondered if TLC's Little People, Big World will be coming back with new episodes after season 25. Its finale ended on a somber note and teased the end of an era. When the couple announced their departure from the show in February 2024, Zach also confirmed that TLC hadn't asked them to be back for another season. On his joint Raising Heights podcast with Tori, Zach said, "I think the chapter has closed regardless of us being asked back or not. We've made it pretty clear we're done with that chapter for multiple reasons." This led many fans to believe that TLC didn't map out plans for season 26 until February. So whether the show gets renewed for another season to continue with other Roloff family members remains to be seen, with 2 beloved members of the Roloff family leaving in season 25. TLC can end the series for good. It wouldn't be surprising for many if that happened, especially after former couple Matt Roloff and Amy Roloff were seen reminiscing about how far they've come with the series since 2006. In the season 25 finale, Amy said, "I would not have imagined where I'm at today 30 years ago. I had a totally different picture of where my life would be, where our family life would be, and in a lot of ways, it's better. The future of the long-running series isn't clear yet, but coming soon will update the story once TLC provides an official answer for season 26. For more entertainment updates, learn if there is a Shogun episode 11 headed our way. Also, find out who went home in Deal or No Deal Island in episode 9. Will Little People, Big World be cancelled? Here's what we back on February 22. Tori Roloff and Zach Roloff made an announcement in regard to their future as cast members on Little People, Big World. "We are done. That part of our lives, that chapter has closed," said Tori Roloff on a recent episode of her and her husband's podcast, confirming their departure from Little People, Big World's act then made it sound as if their contracts have run out, and neither the couple itself nor network executives are interested in a renewal. "We've made it pretty clear," added Zach on this same podcast. They haven't asked us back. Technically, it's been an open non-secret for nearly 2 years now that Zach and Tori don't get along with the former's father, Matt Roloff. In one of the first episodes of the 25th season, Matt expressed disappointment over his son and daughter-in-law not attending a local charity event.